Welcome to the Friday show. It's backwards. Welcome to Three Gorillas podcast. It's the Friday show of the Three Gorillas podcast. Understand?
I
No.
understand.
I'm
Lucy
very
understands.
confused.
All right, I'm not gonna get into it. I believe this is episode 4 of 2019, and it's going good. I'm excited. You know, I think as we go along, the quality's getting better. Right?
I think it's stagnated.
I'm talking about quality. I'm not talking about other shit.
I'm talking about quality.
Oh, okay. Well, to tell you the truth, I feel like today's gonna be a very calm episode. Not a lot of
Yelling?
what's it called? Topics to
Contention?
talk about. Yeah, not a lot of product I'm gonna pull out. I had a lot of stuff.
Every week has a lot of product?
Product of entertainment, you know. In the Three Gorillas podcast company, our product is entertainment. All right.
And
Is
do
it?
Three gorillas
and
in
we
a
do bad
factory
job.
just
You guys
shoving-
are like half-assing it.
I didn't say it was a good factory. It was just a factory pulling out some half-ass entertainment. We're like a Chinese factory that
Let's
like
not go
makes those
there.
iPods
You
that
don't
last
know
like
how
3
people
weeks.
are listening.
You know what I'm
What's
talking
gonna
about?
happen if we talk bad about sweatshops? Who's gonna get mad at
Oh,
us?
it's so
People who own
controversial.
Sweatshops?
You know, the sweatshop lobby is very strong in
How
Boston.
politically correct are we that we're just like don't insult sweatshops? God,
I mean, sweatshops have
I was
rights
talking
too.
about just like Chinese factories. You don't know if people are like, I work at a Chinese factory.
and get paid 1 cent an hour.
Yeah.
I feel it's safe to say that we don't have Chinese sweatshop listeners.
We don't have listeners. I'd be
Hey.
surprised if we had a Chinese listener at all. And if he does work in a sweatshop, how's he listening to this?
If you
It's
are
free.
a listener who is Chinese or of Chinese descent, write us. Why don't you write us?
No, please don't.
Please explain to me
not?
that Chinese student I saw that had a bag that said "I'm a good person," because that's still like, that's probably like, that's something I think the most of.
That's the thing you think of the most.
Yeah,
Honestly,
That is the
honestly,
single thing of which you think of the most.
I think about it every
that was
day.
not a big deal. It was just.
Do you think of me that often?
No,
Oh, okay.
Oh my god! All
This
right,
is what our
well,
relationship has come to.
so everybody, welcome to the Friday show. I'm here today with Luisi Torna. How are you doing, Luisi?
Why are you saying his last name?
Because we've said our last
who
name
gives a
before.
shit?
It's
No.
not
It doesn't matter.
I want him to be under the radar.
okay.
No one knows he
Luisi.
exists.
His name's just Luisi. Luisi the gorilla.
Yeah,
I
And,
don't like that one.
he doesn't look
and-
like a girl.
I'm a human.
All right, we got Luisi the human being.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another citizen of the world.
There's
And
a
we
rapper
got-
called Lou the Human.
That's a good name.
Did
That's
you know your name was originally spelled Luys?
What?
Where?
Lewis?
Oh, in Spanish
in
documents?
Spain.
Yeah, in Spanish
Yeah.
documents, I was reading a 16th century document the other day. And it's Luys is how the person spelled his name.
Maybe that was just
Yeah.
one guy who wanted to be
No,
like.
it was multiple times that people just wrote
Yeah.
Lewis.
Or maybe
Spanish.
that's one guy that didn't know how to spell.
It was not written by that one guy.
Maybe nobody
There's
knew
a-
how to spell.
That's true.
In Spanish history, I know a little bit about this topic. In the Spanish language, they broke it up. Historians have broken it up into like ages.
Yeah.
So and like I believe I don't remember the names, but I believe there's like a middle age or old age, and so it's like there's a pre-Arabic Spanish, right?
yeah.
And that shit is completely different. It might as well be a completely different language.
Yeah, I was looking at 16th century Spanish, and that's like, it's still like fucking just horrible because
Yeah.
not only do we have to read Spanish, we have to read Spanish in 16th century Spanish where there was no like, there was no dictionary, so everybody spelled every word differently.
And you barely know Spanish.
Oh,
to begin
absolutely.
with.
I can read okay. I can read okay.
Yeah, I believe that. I feel like it's easier to read Spanish than to
Oh,
actually
yeah. Oh,
to
yeah.
like speak
Speak
it.
it.
I think for most languages the hardest part is actually being able to speak it. Like understanding, being able to read it. You grasp a lot quicker than the actual spoken language. It's probably how our brain works or something.
I don't know, because for me at least, I can read it just fine. Like I feel like I can read it okay. I can listen to it and I'm like, okay, and then I can speak it and I'm like, I can't speak it.
No, you've
It's no
actually
bueno.
you no bueno.
No
you,
bueno.
you're actually doing pretty good. I feel like
Thank
you're
you.
improving.
Thank you.
All right. So, oh, by the way, for the listeners, I did promise a PhD interview. An interview of a PhD in robotics engineering. That episode is for next week. I tried to get it down this week. Scheduling was bad, but it looks like it's going to be next week, and I feel like that's going to be very interesting. If anything, it's a good thing. It gives me time to prepare. I got a lot of questions for that guy.
Like, how did you get a PhD?
Yeah.
Like, how
Well,
sucky is it to have to get a PhD?
Well, the guy is, oh yeah, it's extremely sucky. Like, the reason he couldn't do it today is because he already got his doctorates.
Yep,
But he
that's
still has
single
to
doctorate.
he still has to do like a bunch of shit to like cross the T's and dot the I's.
What's he doing? Does he have a job right now or what?
He actually got a job in Google, and next month he's moving to San Francisco. So
You know
this
how
guy
much-
is legit.
I have to tell you, though, to get a job at Google, it's fucking hard. You have to go through like 50 interviews.
Yeah, this guy did that.
So he's very smart.
He's going to have an
Yeah.
amazing time because Google has slides at their office. That's the
Oh.
only reason why I would want to work
He
there.
he's
I would hate to work for Google because I'm just like, oh, they're just like, oh, look, corporations are fun. We're not destroying the world with internet. We're not going to make everything horrible. Look, we have a slide in our office. We have a chef. I'd burn the place down, and that's on
You
record.
can bring your dogs to work.
I definitely burn. Have I
Listen.
told you about this bitch that has a dog in my work?
What, like he brings a dog? She brings a dog to work.
Me and
Yeah.
my coworker were joking because, like, okay, so hold up before Weezy gets into it. There's this thing called Illuminated, and it's like people that have like LED lights on them, and then
Okay.
they dance to music.
Yeah, like a rave.
It's kind of like
Like Blue Man Group,
it's
I
like
guess.
Blue Man Group, but like a rave type of thing. And so we got two
Oh,
tickets.
it's like a performance. It's
and
a
my
performance.
coworker,
okay.
yeah, and my coworker is just like, I'm like, you should bring Jackson, his dog.
Why?
And yes, because it's amazing.
Why would you
Okay,
bring a dog to a
Danny,
show?
Because it's a
because
joke.
they're white people.
It's
Look,
where's the
Yeah,
funny?
It's very white.
Where's the ha moment? Ha, there's a dog on the show. Oh, the
it's
dog
just a
just
joke
shitted on the
because he
floor.
brings his dog everywhere with him.
because he's white.
'Cause he's
still
white.
not funny.
Danny,
Not funny.
listen to me.
What?
Okay, there's this bitch who
Why do white people find dogs funny and cute?
I don't know. White people are
I mean,
insane. Listen to me.
Like the second you run out of food, that dog is getting cut open.
And you know what annoys me? No kill shells.
Can we not go there?
I'm trying to get people to hate me now. They don't annoy me.
Literally, what me and Kurt send each other all day. Me and my coworker Kurt are friends, and all we send each other all day are videos and pictures
dogs?
of dogs and cats.
Oh, God.
Of dogs and cats being chunky, of dogs and cats getting scared of things, of dogs and cats like getting surprised, of like all this kind of shit. That's all we send each other all day at work. It's fucking hilarious.
It's funny
I
when
gotta
I
be
started
honest, that's
dating
no way to
Alex.
live.
When I started dating Alex, I had to tell her that not everybody loved dogs more than people, and I'm like,
And she was shocked.
yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
Like what?
That's
Like
what-
wait. You're telling me that dogs aren't our overlords?
What? Cats are our overlords because they think that they're better than us, but we scoop their poop.
You know, that's true.
But listen to me, Danny.
I mean,
There's this bitch who
what?
started working at my job like a few months ago. She's actually quitting now, so this is good.
thank God for that.
But she got hired, and she has a service dog. Okay, guess what
All right.
service that dog is providing?
A cure to loneliness?
Probably. Well, she's engaged. But
Oh, well, to the dog? I don't know.
no.
What's
The
the,
dog.
service?
She is. What's it called? What's that thing called?
She has celiac disease.
You know what that is?
That you don't need. I know what that is, and you don't need a dog for that.
Yes.
You just don't need.
Danny,
you just can't eat
this
gluten.
bitch is gluten intolerant, and
Which,
and
okay, by the way, gluten intolerance is a real thing. Very few people have it, but it is a real thing, and people who do have it should be very careful. You
My
don't need a dog
sister-
for it, though.
Yeah, my sister is like allergic to everything. Like everything makes her insides, like I guess like her inner lining of her intestines is completely raw because she has like 1,000 like she has like I guess she has like celiac disease or some shit, I don't know, but literally every time she eats it's like she feels like throwing up every single time. So some people have issues, but not everyone.
But listen to me,
in no case do you need a dog.
I know what the dog does is she can tell it to sniff food, and the dog can tell if it has gluten. But you could also read the back of the fucking thing and see if it has gluten.
Also, just eat fruits and vegetables.
Also, just, you know what you can eat. Bring your food from home. What is really the fucking danger here?
You know what you can eat. You're not allowed. You can't eat wheat and you can't eat barley. Those are the products you can't eat.
So, yeah, just make your own food. I make my own food for lunch every single day and I bring it from home.
You know
this bitch can't do that?
You know how great your diet would be if you had celiacs? It's just pure fruits and vegetables and meat.
Well, fruits have a lot of sugar in them.
But they don't have celiacs. Or gluten, I guess.
Yeah, but look, Danny, Alex, I'm not talking about the health benefits of the food. I'm just saying you know what has gluten and what doesn't. Especially if you are allergic to gluten,
Bread.
You know.
Bread has.
So you don't need a dog to tell you. And but
bread has one gluten at least.
You know, I've been by the way, listen, guys.
All gluten.
What?
I've been thinking about this. Oh well, you know what? Lucy, finish your thought.
This is gonna be the next half hour. So
Hold up, Danny. Say what you're gonna say before Lucy just literally has to start standing up.
Recently, I've been. Oh my god! Recently, I've been thinking about going on specific diets.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna be healthy and you want your children to see your children live. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So
your daughter ate a whole cake, by the way.
What?
we went to mommy and poppy's house like last week, and we brought a cake. And
2 cakes.
Yeah, we had free cake, so we brought them. And
why did she eat the whole cake?
Well, it was half a cake that was left. So we brought it.
And she ate it?
And she ate the entire thing.
How?
Because her eat it.
Poppy wouldn't stop her.
My God, man.
No, I found this out after I left. I gave her like one piece. I also made her eat with a fork.
And she ate with the fork.
Like she did it herself. I gave her one piece of cake and she ate it. Then apparently after I left, Poppy called me and said that she ate an entire cake by herself.
Oh my God. Listen. My dad is completely whipped by my daughter.
Completely.
My daughter can do whatever the hell she wants with her grandfather.
She's 2.
You too.
She's 2 years old.
Like seriously, it's time for nap. It's a nap time. If my father is there and walks by and sees that, my daughter will see my dad, her grandfather, and just start crying. Just immediately, like face, hey, I can get out. Immediately, this is torture. Why are you torturing her? And she takes her out of the thing. I'm gonna call social services on you. She sleeps too much. It's the middle of the day. Why is she sleeping?
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't understand that babies have a nap time.
It's okay. We also took your daughter to the park and she fully bathed herself in sand. And it was fucking literally she hit the sand. That's my wife's
pet peeves.
And she just put her whole body on it and was just bathing in it. She loved it.
She also kicked me in the face 3 times.
Yeah. We also put her on a swing.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Okay, look.
Also,
this is not good for the podcast, though.
That your daughter's fucking insane. But it's hysterical because, it's so funny because, it's just, I'm like, why did he let her eat the entire half of the cake? Because she liked it.
Your
mother was just like, I don't know. He just gave it to her. It's like, somebody stop her.
The thing is, I would have been the one to stop her, but I'm not there right now.
You wouldn't have.
Elia can't stop her.
Would. I don't know. Elia was probably busy with the other kid. I don't know.
Okay, look, listen to me. This dog.
Why are
but let me get to my point.
I'm getting back to this dog, so I don't give a shit. Go on.
Listen, I wanted to get into the celiac. So I've been focusing on, trying to see what kind of diet I should do, right?
No carbs.
No, listen,
just let him talk.
Over my hypothesis, what I've from the information I've been able to gather, I feel like the best possible diet is the no processed food diet. Eat whatever you want, however much you want, as long as
that's already a bad idea. Eat whatever you want, however much you want, is not a good philosophy when it comes to dieting, Danny.
It's called
Listen to me.
the Krispy Kreme diet. Only eat Krispy Kreme donuts. You'll
listen.
lose weight. Well, yeah, because you're
No,
malnourished.
you're not listening. Listen. The
listening.
only limit. Okay, let me rephrase it. Eat however much you want, whenever you want. But you have to limit yourself to non-processed food. So no rice, no chips. I mean, it's only
Rice
fruits,
is
vegetables,
processed?
and meat. What?
Rice is processed.
Yeah, it's bleached and everything.
What if you get like natural, like
Still processed.
So you can't eat bread then.
You can't eat bread.
So just vegetables and meat.
Fruits, vegetables, and meat.
Danny, you're just on a low carb diet without calling it that then.
Yeah, but listen, I've been thinking about this, and I feel like this would be the best diet for the reason that I would feel like I'm a what's it called? Like a prehistoric king.
Well,
It's
like
literally
a
called the
table full
paleo
of
diet.
grapes.
They call it the paleo diet because of that shit.
The paleo diet is completely different. The paleo diet is only meat.
No, it's
No,
not.
that's
That's
carnivore.
Atkins.
No, that's carnivore diet. Paleo diet is what you're talking about, the non-processed food or whatever. It's also
That's
called like
called
the
the-
caveman diet or whatever and all that.
No, I feel like the caveman diet was just like a large portions of meat.
No,
And
caveman
only
diet
meat.
is unprocessed food. It's whatever cavemen could have eaten, whatever, So it's just
Even though they didn't have industrialized farming and, they were nomadic people, let's just call it the caveman diet, not the farming diet. How about just, eat what you farm diet? No.
So,
we're gonna
Danny,
call
is this
it
what
caveman diet.
Is this what you're gonna eat?
I feel like it would be the best way to go. You
Okay.
know?
Like to go like as you die?
No, as into like it would be the healthiest version of
It'll
living.
make you a lot healthier.
There's this one called the Daniel diet, which is it's either some people call it the Daniel diet or the Daniel fast. So Daniel in the Bible, he fasted and he only ate fruits and vegetables, right?
Sure.
To show because the Babylonians ate a lot of pork, right?
Yeah.
And they would give the Jews pork to eat, the
Jews
Jewish
didn't eat
servants.
pork.
Exactly.
Because
Well,
they
gave-
saw that people got really sick from the pork, and so they just didn't eat it because they didn't want to get food poisoning.
Exactly.
They're smarter
So-
than all of us.
And God told them not to.
It was mostly the food
well,
poisoning.
they would just basically the Babylonians ate a lot of the foods that Jews couldn't eat. So I'm sure like seafood and pork and other
Shellfish.
stuff, shellfish,
Non-kosher
whatever.
things, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of specific things that Jews can't eat. They're very limited. So Daniel says in the Bible, I'm only going to eat fruits and vegetables, and you shall see after I think it was like 3 weeks, I will be the most healthiest, the strongest of all of you. Right?
Also, he was probably lacking a lot of protein, and that's probably why he lost a lot of weight.
I shall eat only fruits and vegetables, and you shall see after a week I will be jacked AF.
With no protein.
That was in the Bible, right?
Jacked AF. That was in
That's a strong paraphrase, but it's pretty much correct.
Dem Beats.
Den beats.
Yes.
Dem beats.
I'm being like I think it's like a thug thing.
What?
It's supposed to be like a thing.
What?
Okay.
Shut the
So
fuck up. I'm done.
in the Bible, Daniel becomes the healthiest of all that were there.
No. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't have any protein.
Also, the Bible is a
Fruits
book
and
written by
vegetables have
people that
protein.
didn't know that weren't nutritionists and didn't know anything about nutrition.
But
and
listen,
also
actually,
also
I
they
read up on
believe that
this.
there was a like a.
Okay, when you say you
thing
read
in the
up,
sky.
like, did you read the title?
He read the
And then-
Bible,
yeah.
and he's just like
He's like, I can do this. Because
No,
people
I
from
read-
3,000 years ago said that I
the
could do
Bible is
this.
the #1 diet book.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I
First
mean,
of
like,
all-
they fast.
That's true.
No, listen, I read.
That's why it's called breakfast. Break fast.
That's true.
It was a nutritionist journal.
Hold up, I'm
talking
feeling
about-
rappy.
They asked the question, is the Daniel fast healthy for you? It
No.
was like going into different types of diets and wondering whether, the diets were good for you, right? And they said, contrary to what you're saying, Alex, that it was extremely healthy.
Where are you going to get your source of protein?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that have protein. Also, I'm pretty sure they ate
Do beans count?
Yes, beans count.
Beans can do that.
Beans are not considered a vegetable.
They're
They're
it was
considered a
basically
fiber.
It's basically he was a vegetarian, okay?
Okay, he was a vegetarian. A vegetarian 3,000 years ago, you have to have some source of protein or else you're going to die.
I'm sure he had protein in his diet.
He probably ate meat.
Huh?
He probably ate meat.
He probably didn't exist. It was written in a book. Like, this is made up shit. Like, why are you acting like this is real?
Well, the diet is real because apparently it worked. That's what the nutritionist said.
What nutritionist?
The one I read about.
Doctor?
Who?
Was he a doctor?
Moses.
Moses Israel?
All right. Let's change this up.
Okay, look, I'm standing up. Look, this bitch that I work with.
Okay.
We're back to the fucking dog.
Okay, we've already established this dog is useless. It has a skill
All right.
that is not necessary. It doesn't need to be there. And she's saying, "Oh, I have a disability, so I need the dog." Bitch, you're allergic to food. There are kids who are allergic to peanut butter. If they see a peanut, they'll die, and they don't bring a dog to school. So
well, she might be definitely allergic to gluten.
She could be. Just don't fucking eat it.
Celiacs, if I'm correct, celiacs is that they're just not capable of processing the food, so they absorb no nutrients from gluten.
Whatever, I don't care. Look, Danny,
so they don't like break out into hives, but like eating it gives them no
but you're
benefits
acting
at all.
like gluten's attacking you. Like you need the dog there to stop the gluten from attacking you. You know what has gluten. Don't eat it.
Maybe her form of celiacs makes her like definitely ill. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Look,
what? Damn.
But this is the thing. She not like you could train any dog to do this, but she gets the biggest dog. This dog is the size of Alex, and it's just and it's just
what type of dog is it? What breed?
I think it's a greyhound.
It's a greyhound.
That's
a big ass dog.
Yeah,
you don't need a greyhound for that. Get a Chihuahua.
I know. That's what, if you're gonna bring a dog somewhere, get a tiny dog. But even then, don't do it.
Could you teach a hamster to do it? That's the question.
Maybe. Can you teach yourself to do it? Maybe. Can you just teach yourself what you can't eat and then do that? But okay. So this giant dog is just in the middle of an office. I'm in the break room eating lunch and there's a dog next to me. And
all right.
The dog is in the office just sitting. Like, I see the dog. First of all, like, I'm a crazy person because since I've gotten a pet, it makes me think how crazy it is that people have animals in their house. Like, why do you have an animal in your house?
Yeah, like, I feel the same way. Like, when I remember when we had animals, like, after we were done with all the animals in the house, I was thinking, like, why do we have, like, feral animals in our house? And by the way, we had like a tiny dog.
Yeah, I know.
I
have a tiny cat, and I look at the cat sometimes, and I'm like, "Why are you here?" And
yeah, it's like you should be in the woods killing birds and shit.
I love my cat. He's so handsome. He couldn't live in the wild. He's really stupid.
Yeah, he should be dead. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, like, I don't even want it in my house. Then I see it at work. I see this dog literally, like, we have office spaces with like 5 desks in them, like, whatever, the rooms. The dog's just in the middle of the room just chilling. And then, like, we go to a meeting and the dog's in the meeting? Why do you see the dog at the meeting? You're not eating anything.
Well, let me ask you this. Lucy, let me ask you this. How do the people, not you, how do other people feel about the dog?
Okay. I'm lucky in this regard because most of the people in my office are not white. I'd say most of them are on my side.
Are they Hispanic or are they,
there's a lot of black and Hispanic people I work with.
Black and Hispanic?
Yeah.
This is the one white bitch who's just like, I feel like I can be white anywhere.
She is white.
I have a right to bring a dog. I bet you any amount of money that if one of the black people brought a dog, that they would get arrested immediately.
Maybe. I don't know.
Bringing feral animals into the office.
I'd say the race distribution of my job is probably like 50, like maybe 50% white and 50% other, but it's still like a lot of.
I don't like the fact that we're considered other.
Danny, but I'm saying
I prefer the term 50% white and 50% superior races.
Me too.
All right, let's do that one instead.
But I'm saying, like, not only, like, a lot of people were against the dog, but also everybody there just hated her as a person, which is whatever.
Oh, she was a shitty person?
Yeah, she's a piece of shit, kind of.
How so? Like,
she kept going to HR trying to get people fired and shit.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's the worst kind of
She
person.
tried to get our boss fired because...
For what?
Okay, because our boss walked by... Like, I don't work in the same room as her. But people told me this, that I guess our boss walked by her room and she just looked in casually and she saw her on her phone, like just whatever. Just like browsing shit on her phone. And she just looked in and was staring at her, waiting for her to look up at her and be like, hey, get to work or whatever, you know?
Okay, that's fair.
Like, that's normal. That's like she looked up, she saw her on the phone, and then my boss's name is Paulette. So Paulette saw her and she was like, you know, get off your phone, basically. And she did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure maybe she had a good reason, but, like, you know,
she didn't have a good reason. She just, but like I go on my phone at work. Like, I'm just checking shit for a minute. If somebody caught me, I'd be like, okay, my bad, I'm sorry, go back to work. It's not a big deal. It's just like, you got caught. Yeah. So whatever. But then after that, she went to HR and said, she's stalking me.
She's stalking. She says she's stalking me. Are you sure?
Literally, Danny. Oh, I'm not kidding. My boss had to go around to people and asking, "Do you feel like I'm stalking people or some shit?"
My God, what is that even? How? Like, I don't even know. Because
she's like, she always walks by the room and looks in.
You mean in her office? In the office that she's in charge of? She goes around the office that she's in charge of?
It's not like, and by the way, it's not like she goes around every room looking in at everybody like every 5 seconds. It's just that she's walking somewhere and she just looked in the room. But
even if she was just walking around every 5 seconds, she's the boss. This bitch doesn't understand the concept of stalking.
The thing is, like, and she said, like, oh, I was stalked before, it triggered me, bitch.
Triggered me. It triggered me.
If somebody looking at you triggered you, you need to go to a fucking mental asylum because you can't live in real life. Like, what do you mean?
If somebody looking at you, okay, maybe she did get stalked before.
Maybe.
But if somebody looking at you triggers you, you're gonna have a shitty life for the rest of your life.
Go to therapy. Like, what?
Yeah, you gotta work on that.
Don't blame her. She didn't do it. But like,
that is the worst kind of person.
And she went to HR for
a bunch. You should have known she was a shitty person. You should have known she was a shitty person when she brought her dog into work.
Yeah,
I bet you she doesn't even have celiacs.
Oh, the other thing. This is the best part. She's like an actress, quote unquote. And
how? She lives in Tampa.
She's like one of those theater kids. You know the theater kids from high school?
Yeah, you're not a theater person in Tampa.
Well, she does, like, I guess, dinner theaters and shit sometimes.
Yeah, for free, I'm sure. Yeah. You gotta do something on the weekends.
Yeah, whatever. That's, like, you know, whatever. That's what she does. Her and her boyfriend also works there.
They sound like the worst couple in the world.
I hate them. Like, I didn't really ever talk to her that much because, I don't know, whatever. I hate her boyfriend so much. I hate him.
Yeah, why? What's wrong with him?
He's just a complete, like, he's the exact type of person I hate. Like, he just will not shut up. He just,
oh God, just
like, you know those theater kids from high school that were just really annoying and shit, and just like kept talking about shit and like he's super hyper and stuff, and I'm like, just shut up,
yeah, please. Yeah. Like, just talked about shit that nobody cared about, and like just brought up conversations that like just out of nowhere, that kind of person, yeah. So not the best kind of people.
So she has performances sometimes.
Okay.
But the thing is, when she has performances, she's not allowed to bring her dogs to the performance because I guess those people are sane and they don't let you bring a dog everywhere. So
did she try to get everybody fired?
No, I mean, no, what she does is that when she has a performance after work, she doesn't bring the dog with her to work.
Okay, that's
how are you able to just randomly not bring your dog sometimes? If it's so necessary that you need it with you at work, why are you suddenly able to not bring it with you and it's fine?
Lucy, you know, come on, everybody knows what she's doing. Everybody just wants to play along. Nobody wants to waste the energy on challenging her. That's how Hitler got into power. Hitler was an annoying bitch who always brought her dog to work. And then Hitler just decided, I'm going to be a Führer. And everybody's like, fine, just get away. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Nobody has the energy to do it.
Oh God! But she's leaving now, so it's good.
Where is she going?
She got another job doing some shit. I don't know.
All right, that's good for her. Okay, really, I think this was like the last 15 minutes were a useless podcast because nobody gives a shit about your job, Lucy.
I wasn't saying shit about my job. I was saying shit about bringing dogs like, oh my God, the dogs everywhere thing. Like, when did that, like, I've only noticed that like maybe in the last 5 years that people bring their dogs literally everywhere. Like, why is this acceptable?
It's white people. White people have been doing
I know,
this for
but
a
like,
while.
is it just Florida though specifically? Have you noticed that in Boston?
There is a strong, like, what I notice is, especially in Boston, I don't know how much in Florida, but in Boston, if you walk your dog, because it's a big city, you have to 100% always pick up their shit, right? Where I lived in Florida, it was like, kind of like, it was a smallish town, and so there were areas that were wooded that you can stop your dog there, have the dog shit, and you don't have to pick it up because it's just woods, right? And here you can't do that ever. And so I just see like beautiful girls with just baggies full of shit with little dogs. And it's like, well, what's the point of having a dog if you have to carry around shit everywhere? You know?
Like, I mean, am I going to sound like an old man? Like, this generation, people are replacing kids with dogs. Like, the amount that
that's definitely true.
The amount that I see people give a shit about pets is insane to me. Like, they love those pets like they're their kids, and I'm like, you don't see anything wrong with that? That's not normal. That's not good.
There's definitely a worldwide societal shift where people have put less of a focus on family and more of a focus on career, which me personally, I find that, just completely ass backwards, and something has to happen in society where we go focus back on having the family being the most important part of an individual's life.
Look, an individual can care about whatever they want. If they want to care about the career more than the family, that's on them. Like, this doesn't have anything.
No. But I'm just saying that because of that, because people are focusing more on their career and they don't have, a family structure to create or nurture or whatever, they get dogs. Dogs are a supplement.
But that's like honestly, I don't understand how people take care of dogs because dogs are a lot of work.
Dogs are a lot of work.
Like, you have to be there. Like, cats are the easiest thing in the world because you literally just leave food and they shit in a box. You could be gone for an entire week and it wouldn't matter.
Listen, dogs aren't actually work. All right. A dog at the end of the day is still a dog. You can shove a dog into a cage for 8 hours a day.
You actually can't.
Take it out.
Danny, you actually can't.
Listen to me. You can. You can. And when you take out the dog, it's still going to love you the same. If I shove a kid into a cage for 8 hours, that kid, first of all, that kid's not going to like me anymore. And second of all, I'm going to go to jail forever.
But you can't shove a dog in a cage for 8 hours because, like, it'll shit all over itself and all these things. You have to take it out, walk and stuff. And, like, look, Danny, I know I'm not saying it's the same amount of work as a kid, but it is a lot of work. And, like, it's more work than a person that's working full-time can do. Like, how do you have a dog and you work full-time? You're gone for 8 hours a day. You need to feed the dog. You need to walk the dog. The dog can't shit in a box. Like, who takes care of the dog if you're out working all day?
The dog can hold it in for 8 hours.
They'll shit all over everything. Like,
dogs are potty trained, Lucy. You take the dog out before you go to work, and then you take the dog out again after work.
Hold on. Let me get Alex. She's a dog expert. Like,
okay.
Say shit for like a minute.
Oh, really? You're gonna go?
Yeah, 1 minute. Just say shit.
Just go. All right, go. All right. Well, while Lucy's gone, I'm just gonna say, as far as the interview that's gonna come up with the PhD, the reason why he can't do it is because he has to cross the T's and dot the I's for his PhD. He is a doctorate. He just got his doctorate, so I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, he's a very professional person. He's a very intelligent man. He got a scholarship for MIT.
What?
So,
listen. So I got Alex
that's
here.
it
Alex,
for that.
We were talking about like however, people are treating dogs like babies basically now. It's like they're replacing families with dogs. So, but I'm saying like dogs are actually a lot of work, and I don't understand how people can have like full-time jobs and have a dog. And Danny's like, you can just shove a dog in a cage for 8 hours and not do anything, and it's fine. So, can you tell him how that's wrong? Because you're a dog expert.
People do that.
Boom, told you.
But it's not good. I don't think it's good because the dog usually doesn't have access to food and water for 8 hours. They can't go to the bathroom. They can't do any of that stuff. So
my argument was that dogs are an easy supplement for an actual family because a dog you can shove in a cage for 8 hours a day. And when you come back, that dog is going to love you completely equally.
You can shove a baby in a cage for 8 hours a day, and it'll still love you.
It's going to die. If I shove a baby in a cage for 8 hours a day, it's going to die on the first day.
If you took it out to feed it after the 8 hours, I think it would live. It wouldn't be healthy.
Nope, it's dead. It's a dead baby.
No, it's going to be a dead baby. Honestly.
Guys.
No, you wouldn't.
It's fine. Listen to me.
Also,
stop.
Also,
nope. I'm talking. Dogs can be left in a cage for 8 hours a day. But ideally, you want somebody to come over in the middle of the day, at least to let it out and go to the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
But listen to me, but Danny, listen to me, though. This is what I'm saying, like, if you left the dog in a cage for 8 hours a day, whatever. I don't know why you have a dog if that's what you're going to do, but just whatever. But these white people don't do that. These white people treat it like they're kids. They will, buy it cakes and shit. There's dog bakeries. These people do everything for these dogs.
Don't buy your dog a cake.
So I'm like,
Jesus.
And the thing is, like,
first
it's
of all,
honestly worse than a kid.
Your dog doesn't want a cake. The dog doesn't want a cake. Get him a big ass steak if you want to treat your dog.
But whatever.
Right?
But Danny, listen to me. Like, I think a dog honestly might be worse than having a kid. Like in terms of taking care of it and shit. Because like a baby, it's a lot of work. But it does eventually grow up into an adult and then it leaves. A dog is like having a baby for like 20 years until it dies.
Yeah. Well, it's like having a toddler, I guess.
I guess it's like having a toddler, I guess. But like your kid will eventually grow up into teenagers and shit, which will mostly, I mean, you have to feed them and like buy them shit, but they will mostly take care of themselves in as much as like bathing them and, you know, food and like taking care of themselves, whatever, that kind of shit.
Well, also, you have, you have a child, you have a family, you have something that, that you
like
love
something that has purpose. Take care of. If you have a dog, it's just a dog that will then die, and nobody cares.
You have an animal. That's what you have. You have a feral animal that humans over the centuries has trained to not kill you in your sleep.
Yeah,
that's what you have.
If you have a kid, like it could grow up into like a functioning member of society that might value somebody.
If you have a son or a daughter, that child is half your DNA. That child is part of you. That child came from you. All right, that is your legacy. When you die, that child shall carry on your name and your family lineage. A dog, just the biggest success you can have with a dog is teaching it not to shit inside the house. All right.
But this is the thing, like people are so, I don't understand why people are so scared of having kids now. Like people will have 20 dogs, but the thought of having a kid,
they're not scared. Is that our society has shifted its ideals. So it used to be an ideal life with wife and kids and a beautiful family that you can grow and nurture and all that. Now it's having a great job, a career. That thing that in the Bible they said that was going to be our torture, our punishment for disobeying God in the first book of the Bible was that we were going to work the earth and sweat, and that was going to be our punishment. And now, for some reason, are
you really, Danny? Are you really gonna like use the book from a religion that's caused some of the most like wars and destruction on Earth? Like, what are you? That's what you're gonna use?
It's not because first of all, I'm sure all the books have caused wars. Actually, yeah, I'm 100% sure all the books of religious books have caused wars and shit. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying Christianity is bad as itself. I'm just saying the structure of the Catholic Church and Christianity in general has oppressed a lot of people.
Oh yeah. But I'm talking about you're talking about two different things. I'm talking about the Word of God. You're talking about the church.
I'm saying that's the structure part. Men. The structure of American society now is that you get a good job and shit, and that's oppressive.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm arguing is,
but the ideal of American culture. Let me defend Western culture right now, whatever of current day. Getting a job and all that shit. I think what they actually mean by that is that do whatever you want to do. Because before the thing was like if you didn't have a family, especially if you were a woman and you decided
to a little bit.
Okay, let me finish. I'm saying like before in like the 1950s or whatever, and before they're just like, especially if you were a woman, have a family, don't have a career, and if you were a man, have a job and have a family. Those are your options. If you do anything else, you're insane. And I think what the Cultural Revolution,
I agree with that part.
So. What the Cultural Revolution was actually
wrong word.
It did basically succeed.
It's the sexual revolution, I think.
Well, it's both.
Cultural Revolution was in China, and it was very different.
The Cultural Revolution in America, Danny, like the 60s and hippies and shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right.
But I'm saying that the American culture,
women's liberation,
whatever, that shit. What that was trying to do, and I think successfully did for the most part, was break the stigma of doing anything other than that normal thing. Like if you're a 50,
which I agree with.
If you're a 50-year-old guy who plays guitar on the side of the road and you're living off that, most people will be like, "You're making a living. You're doing what you love. That's cool."
Yes.
Like if you did that in 1950 something, they're like, "Kill this hippie.
You're a bum.
Put him in jail."
You're a bum. Yeah.
Like they're just like, if you can pay rent and live doing what you like, most people will be like, "That's great."
Yeah.
Like so you can do whatever you want.
I agree with that with that sentiment. I agree with the Cultural Revolution, if that's what you want to call it. Its goal was to say, listen, do what makes you happy. Find a way to live in a way that you can live happily. So if you're happy, singing in the middle of the street, and you're able to live off of that, that's the best option for you, right? And that carried over today with millennials. Millennials, in ideal, millennials' goal, most millennials' goals are to find a job that makes them happy and just live their life normally. The idea of being a millionaire is, I think, pretty much died in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I also believe there is still an undertone, a capitalist American greed undertone that says what's actually really going to make you happy is working 50 hours, not even 50, 60, 70 hours a week in a job that's going to consume your entire life.
Well, this is the thing. I don't disagree, but I don't think the thing is that the feminism, cultural, sexual revolution thing kind of got what it wanted and then went a little too far, in that they kind of reversed the stigma into, if you do want a family and if you do want to be a housewife, you're insane. Like they're saying,
that's very specific feminist. That's not at all feminists.
I know it's a very specific kind of feminist, but I think a lot of people have just like, I mean, maybe in specific parts of America, maybe like East Coast, West Coast, like that kind of like liberal elite type shit. If you're a woman who wants to just be like a housewife, if you want to get married and have kids, they're like, what? They like,
I don't know how common that is. I'm sure it does exist, but I'm not sure.
But the thing is, like, I think what happened,
people make that out to be a bigger thing than it actually is.
I think that I don't think it was a capitalist plot, though. I think it just kind of fell into.
It wasn't a capitalist plot.
It fell into capitalism's hands. They're just like, it fell into their laps. They're just like, oh my god, all these people just want to work for the rest of their lives. This is amazing. They're just like, they got this newfound batch of people that only want to work, and they're like, okay, I'll let you work. Please work.
Yeah, yes, that's pretty much exactly what happened. Now, me personally, because I am more left than the average American, I believe that the ideal society should have where one person, either a man or a woman, has a job that they find satisfactory, where they can live their life, make a good amount of money, maybe save up and make some good investments, whatever. But one person should be able to make enough money to support a family of 4.
But also, I don't even think that's possible anymore. Like,
it's not possible anymore. Now you need 2 incomes to take care of both of you. Mm-hmm. All right, you can barely make enough money to take care of yourself. If you want to get married, both of you have to work, and if you want to have kids, you gotta pray to make.
Well, the thing is, like, the new middle class in America means that both of you have to work.
Yes,
because the thing is,
in order to be middle class in America today, you need 2 incomes, and that's.
But the thing is, like, they fuck you because, like, if you have 1 income, you're not gonna have enough to have a kid. But if you have 2 incomes, that means both of you have to work. That means you have to put your kids in daycare. Do you know how expensive daycare is?
Exactly.
Daycare is so expensive. It'll literally eat up your entire second income. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, you need 2 incomes to be able to take care of your kid, because one person is going to waste all their money on spending on daycare for the kid. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, we need to go back to a system where careers offered enough money to sustain a whole family. One job sustained a whole family. Not a big family, a family of 4. That's what we need to head back to.
But Dane, that's not
I don't care.
Like, that's just saying we need higher wages, which, like, we need jobs that pay more, which is true. But, like, that's not going back to a system that did.
No. But that idea was entrenched in our culture. All right, there was a golden age, work-wise, career-wise, in American society, as far as careers go, as for the work industry, where it was a job. If you were in the 70s, if you worked in a Sears, if you like had if you were like worked the glasses section in Sears, that sustained your family. If you were a dude who like freaking sold jewelry or whatever in a Sears, you can sustain your family on that.
Basically, it's just like in the 70s and the 60s and shit. If you had a job above like cashier, you could sustain your family. Like if you had just a decent job, you could sustain your family. You can't do that anymore.
If you stocked the cans at a Publix in the 80s, you could have taken care of your family like that. I remember the show Boy Meets World. The dad was an assistant manager, and he had like 5 kids.
He was an assistant manager.
He was an assistant manager. The mom stayed at home, and he took care of 3 kids in a giant 2-story house in Philadelphia. That's a big city.
That's crazy.
And he was like an assistant manager.
But the thing is, like, when did it become the new norm to just have that both parents work and nobody cares? Like,
first of all, it became a necessity.
But like nobody, like whenever it became a necessity, nobody batted an eye. They're just like, yeah, you both have to work, deal with it. That's it. And nobody's like,
it was kind of like a perfect storm, I assume, as corporations became more and more greedy and buying out these politicians to allow them to pay less to their employers. The feminism movement was saying, hey, women should work too. And I'm sure that all the big businesses were happy enough to get a more of a workforce.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the whole feminism thing is kind of like, well, why is the wife going to stay at home and work? You should both have careers. It's like,
but you have to understand. You have to understand that feminism wasn't the issue. It was the corporations taking advantage of that situation.
I'm not blaming feminism. Like, I'm not one of those like alt-right YouTube people that's just like feminism is the worst thing that happened to the world. That's not like, I'm not doing
because they're retarded.
Yeah. I'm just saying like this is a feminist idea that women were. And I'm not saying women should obviously be able to work, like that's obvious. I'm saying that like
my ideal goal for American society is to have somebody work. If the man wants to stay at home and take care of the kids, that's what I want.
I would happily do that. I would just,
you know how happy I would be to be a stay-at-home dad taking care of my kids. You know how much fulfillment I would receive from that?
And the thing is, like, yeah, having babies is hard, but once they grow up and start going to school, oh my God, you have the whole day to yourself. Like, you literally are just home.
I can start a small business. I could start Tupperware on the side.
That's, man. Like, I don't, like, I get it.
You know how great it would be to be a stay-at-home dad? You have none of the pain of giving birth to the children. And then you have all of the rewards when they go to school.
The thing is, like, I think people, like, kind of, like, I'm not, this is going to sound really bad, what I'm about to say, but I'm not trying to, like, downplay the work that a mother or parents have to do. But I'm saying the hardest work is from baby to 5. I think.
Oh yeah. That's the most critical time for a kid.
So think about this: you're a stay-at-home mom. Let's say you have 3 kids, so maybe like 8 years, of just hard work. But then once all 3 are in school, you're just retired. You just
well, not retired. You're part time.
You just have to be there at home, clean up a house. Like, look, how hard is it to clean a house? Like, calm down with this shit. Like,
well, get a small house. Don't get a mansion. Get a small house.
If you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, you can clean
1,500 square feet. 1,500 square feet. You don't need more than that.
And it's like, what is it, a nightmare to clean your house? Like, is it a nightmare to cook?
Okay,
like
you're going a bit too far.
No, but I'm saying fun. No, the first 5 years of a kid's life is a nightmare. The rest of it, that's smooth sailing. So I'm just saying that's early retirement. To tell you the truth, my wife right now is suffering a lot because we have a 2.5-year-old and a newborn, and that shit is rough. All right. That is no joke. That is a 24-hour job. But wait till the kids are all in school? Shit.
Oh, God. I'm sure she'd be
just home. Like, what do you do?
She'll be at home. She'll go to the store, buy whatever she wants. She'll probably go on the internet and try to start up a small business.
I'm saying, like,
hey, Danny, do you know you can sell Tupperware online? I was like,
but I'm saying, crazy. Like, why are people like, why would you want that? I'm like, that shit's a scam. What are you talking about? Like, yes, I want that.
I don't know if it's a scam.
Oh, yes, it is.
Listen, yeah, it's the most rewarding job you can do. Like, I truly believe this. You might disagree. I don't know. I think, personally, I believe in God, in the Christian God of the Bible. But,
that's nice.
Like, even if you... I understand a lot of people don't believe that, but whatever religion or whatever lack of religion, whatever you believe about society and the world and the universe, something we can all agree on is that part of why we were created here was to reproduce and care for kids and create some kind of nucleus structure of family and love each other and nurture each other and be together. Why would you try to destroy that with some made-up idea of a quote-unquote job? It's like, we made up a job. Job is in the air. A company is voodoo. It's nothing. It's a company because we all agreed it's a company. You think if paperwork, if a meteor hits the earth today, Walmart doesn't exist anymore. Walmart is nothing. All right? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's a fantasy. You know what's not a fantasy? Family. That's a very physical, very real thing that you should create and nurture because it's one of the base things to do in your life. All right? It's not that long of a life.
Even though if you don't want a family, you can also just not have one. Like,
do whatever you want to do. But I'm saying,
especially like a lot of people like have kids just because they feel like they have to. If any part of you doesn't want kids, don't have kids. Because like, why?
No. If you are iffy about having kids, don't have a kid. All right. Have a kid when you're sure you want a kid, okay? Because that shit is life-changing. And if you're not ready for it, it's going to hit you like a freaking freight train, all right? But on the other hand, it is something, like, it's one of the biggest plot points.
But the thing is, like, there's a lot of bad parents. Like, why are you just going to have...
There are certain things you have to check off in life, at least I believe, in my opinion. And having a family, it's a pretty big check mark. What that family looks like is up to you. But having a family structure is a very big part of life. It might be the meaning of life.
Oh, I just don't like that people are replacing their kids with dogs. It just annoys me.
This conversation got way more deeper than dogs.
I know, but like the dog shit, like, Danny, people bring their dogs to restaurants. Your dog should not be anywhere around food. Like, why are you bringing a place? Why are you bringing your dog to a public place where people are eating? That's insane. That's completely insane.
Sanitary. Like, the dog hair gets into the air and it floats
around. And maybe like some
shit.
People, I don't know if this happens everywhere. In St. Pete, there's dogs in it. Like, dogs run restaurants here. Like, it's crazy. And
where St. Pete is a very bohemian place.
I love St. Pete. Like, I honestly really love St. Pete as a city. I like it a lot. I really do. I think it's the best place in Florida for me.
Oh, for you personally.
For me personally.
But yeah, it's very like bohemian.
Yeah,
it's a good place.
But the dog shit,
like it's very white.
These white people. You know. Well, downtown St. Pete is, but like I live in a really black area. Like
that's good. That's good.
But it's not like I'm saying like there's a lot of like it's multicultural AF. It's a city. I mean, it's a city. I mean, there are white people, but you know.
That's good. That's good. It's good to have.
But these white people and dogs, my God.
I was So I'm right now in Boston. I'm gonna need to know some people, make some friends and shit. So there's this one guy who's from, I don't know if I should say his name. I don't know if he wants to be. But he's from Norway. Like he's here, just studying. He's only here for a year. He doesn't want to live in America. He wants to go back to Norway, and perform his career with his masters in Norway, right? And so I talked to him. I asked him a lot of questions about Norway because I'm interested in other countries and stuff like that. And Norway, first of all, Norway sounds like the shit. All right, it's just very low poverty, free education, great prison reform system. The education system is a little bit lacking, but they're trying to work on it, so that's good. And by the way, by a little bit lacking, it's still way better than the American system. By the way,
the thing with like those Scandinavian countries.
No. I think we're gonna say the same thing. I just want to say it first.
Okay.
So after all this conversation, it sounds like politically a great environment to live in. High taxes, but I mean, in return for high taxes, you get a great salary no matter what job you get, and great benefits, and you have a lot of opportunity. But it sounds extremely boring.
Yeah.
It's very homogenous, a lot of white people, and also racist because they don't accept a lot of immigrants, and they're very iffy about immigrants.
There's a shit ton of Nazis in those places now. Like, there's Nazi groups and shit.
No. But, like, they also, like, most of Europe doesn't have birthright citizenship. You know that?
I didn't know that.
So, if you live in Norway and you're not like a Norwegian citizen, your kids won't be Norwegian citizens. So now, like in Sweden, a lot of Arabic people have immigrated as refugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but they can't be Norwegian citizens. They're just asylum seekers. They're just refugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and getting Swedish citizenship is a very long and strenuous process that a lot of people don't even bother with. So what happens is they'll have kids and they'll grow up in Sweden, and those kids who were born and raised in Sweden are not Swedish. Literally, by law, they're not Swedish. I guess they're whatever citizenship of their parents. So because of that, a lot of the kids won't learn Swedish because they'll be isolated in these communities because they're pretty much like rejected by the rest of Swedish society because they don't have a concept of assimilation. Because they're not accepting. It's not that the refugees won't assimilate. It's that the Swedish people won't let them assimilate. You know what I mean?
Well, they won't give them citizenship.
And so they won't give them citizenship, and so those kids will be born and raised in the country, and they'll go to school and they won't speak any Swedish.
But why not?
And because they stay in these societies that are separated. It's pretty much apartheid.
Well, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Did this guy tell you that?
He didn't say all that part. That's from a different conversation with different people. Like the same thing happens in Italy. So there's a lot of African migrants in Italy, and they don't have birthright citizenship. So those African migrants won't. They'll have kids born and raised in Italy. A lot of the kids will learn Italy in their situation, but they won't be considered Italians, not culturally and not by law either. So, and they will never have an opportunity to rise up, to make something of themselves because they literally just don't have the same rights as Italian citizens.
Yeah, like people give a lot of shit about America, which they should, especially the way we're treating immigration now. But
yes.
But the thing, a lot of shit that we have in America is rare. Most countries don't have the type of freedom of speech that we do, and most countries don't have birthright citizenship. So these are two very important things that America has over other countries that makes it a lot better. And
by the way, but also I want to make it very clear that those two ideas are great things, and we do have that over other people. And by the way, birthright citizenship and the American immigration policy historically has been the main factor in our success. All right, it has been the main reason. That is literally the idea of the American
honestly,
dream.
I think America is one of, if not the only country that started with a freedom of speech thing, and they're specifically saying you can say whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, as long as you're a white landowning male.
But it might be right.
One of the rare ones. Like, I'm not saying like I'm not gonna say it's the only one, but it's a rare thing. I don't think most countries do that.
I want to make it clear that birthright citizenship, while it's not the majority of countries, it is a very Americas, not United States of America. All of the Americas, the entire Western Hemisphere, has birthright citizenship.
But also the thing is, like, I'm not like Europe. I don't know, because I don't really know any Europeans, and I've never been to Europe. But I feel like it might be different because like it means something else to be like Italian than it means to be like American. Because in America, you can be whatever you want and you're American.
Yeah.
In Italy,
but
I feel
first of all, when I say Americans, I mean all of the Americas, because this is
ideology
that all of the Americas have.
I know, but I'm saying like I can be Cuban, Colombian, and American, and that's fine. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you could do that in Italy.
We live in a situation where, in a country where our dad was a political refugee, our mom was an immigrant.
Are you gonna call Bobby a political refugee?
He literally was.
I mean, he wanted to go to America. I guess it's a political refugee. It's
not like he was 3 years. What? And then he was arrested for 3 years as literally a political prisoner.
I know, but because he wanted to leave. And I'm saying when you say political refugee, it sounds like he was like trying to like assassinate Fidel Castro or something.
Okay, he didn't try to assassinate. He was just against the government, and he went to jail for being against the government. Mm-hmm. Right? He didn't try to kill Castro. That's fair. But he was a political.
I'm saying everybody in Cuba is against the government. Like,
but he did actually leave Cuba for political reasons, not economic reasons. Mm-hmm. All right. So our dad is a refugee, however you want to call it, and our mom is an immigrant, and they came to this country, and all three of us were born from two immigrants, our mom and our dad, and we are exactly the same level of American as the children who came here from the freaking Pilgrims. Mm-hmm. We are considered not only by law but by society, like our cultural standard. Like, nobody really considers us less American than a family that's been here hundreds of years.
The vast majority, at least. The vast majority of Americans. Of course, there's some people who be like, go back to your country.
You have to be an extreme racist in this country. By the way, there are those extreme racists, but you have to be
I think a lot of people on the internet and shit like that make it seem like there's a lot more like just extreme racists out there in America. There's there are racists, but like there's not people that are like, at least not a lot of people that are just like, go back to your country, you big piece of shit, whatever, all this shit. Like, there's some, I guess, but like,
yeah,
most people aren't doing
the overwhelming majority believe that the children who are born in this country and raised in this country, no matter the status of their parents, are American citizens.
That's why that shit was so insulting to me during the government shutdown when Trump was like, "Okay, I'll have an agreement. You give me the wall, and then I'll let the DACA kids be here for another 3 years before I deport them."
Oh yeah,
that shit. Yeah. I'm like, listen, are you insane? Like, that's your compromise?
First of all, that's not a compromise. That's a spit in the face.
Yeah.
And saying about Donald Trump's idea of immigration is very European and very backwards. It's not what America is. He wants to turn us into a more European country, in at least immigration wise. And so basically, my point was that can happen here in America. Not only America, but the entire Western Hemisphere. That situation has happened in every country in the Western Hemisphere. In Colombia, a lot of Arabic people, a lot of Turks and Syrians moved to Colombia, and when their kids were born, just as Colombian as everybody else. There's Chinatowns all over the Western Hemisphere, in Cuba, in Jamaica, in Colombia, in Canada. Brazil has a gigantic Japanese population that nobody knows about. because nobody gives a shit about Brazil. But Brazil I think it has the largest population of Japanese people outside of Japan.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
And guess what? They're considered just as Brazilian as anybody else. This is a very Western Hemisphere idea, right? But in Europe, African immigrants who move to Europe, let's say Italy, they'll have kids born in Italy, and regardless of the status of the kid, just because their parents aren't Italian or they don't look like the average Italian, both society and the law won't consider that person as much of an Italian as somebody who's been there, generations. Mm-hmm. So it's just, that's very disillusioning. How do you say it?
I think that's the word. Do you know, does England do that too?
Huh?
Does England do that too?
England has a slightly different system as long as both, I don't know the exact laws, but if I'm correct, if I'm remembering correctly, England has a system as long as both parents have legal status.
Do they have a thing like if your country was colonized by them, do they let you in or something? Because there's a shit ton of like Indians and Jamaicans and
yeah. They have if you're a colony of England, you're a British citizen.
Well, I mean, Jamaica's not currently a colony of England.
Yeah, but it was. So a lot of those black British people immigrated to England when Jamaica was still part of England.
Yeah, and same with India, I guess.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, in England, as long as both parents have legal status, any amount of legal status in England, the kid becomes a British citizen. Mm-hmm. So that's something. I believe in Italy, whatever the status of the parents are, that's the status of the kid. So if the parents are permanent residents, the kid is a permanent resident. If the parents are illegal, the kid's illegal.
Yeah.
So, it's not great. And also it's extremely difficult to become a citizen. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think that's enough for today.
I'm good, yeah.
It's very...
Okay.
It was... No, Lucy, don't just take it.
You said we're good.
I know, but we gotta warm down, okay? We gotta talk down. We gotta review.
I'm not reviewing shit. I'm leaving. Okay.
Lucy,
okay, guys.
Lucy, shut up. Stop. Okay. I was just gonna say this has been a very heavy episode. Like, it got very serious at the end.
Okay.
Maybe. Jesus, Lucy.
You don't want me to talk, apparently, so I'm not gonna talk.
I want you to talk. I just want you not to end the show with your words immediately.
Okay.
I had completely different topics. I literally did not.
I don't know why you think you're ever going to get to topics. I don't.
Okay, but really quick, you want to know what my topic was for today? Well, at least the first topic was going to be. I wanted to talk about, I watched all of The Office, right?
Why don't you watch a show that you haven't seen?
No, listen, I recently watched the entire series of The Office, right? And when I finished, I rewatched it. So right now I'm season 2 of the second.
You're rewatching it again.
Yes, of the American Office.
Okay.
Right? So,
okay, goodbye everybody. Thank you for listening. No. I'm not.
So the topic was going to be, my argument was going to be that the American Office is way better than the British Office by a lot. And I'm pretty sure you disagree with me.
I don't think I disagree really.
Really?
No.
Well, that might be a good topic for next week. Basically, I was gonna say British comedy isn't better than American comedy.
I don't think it is. Actually, I think a lot of it's really overrated.
Oh, see, that would be a good topic. I'll save it for next week. But all right, this has been a great episode. I'm really happy with how it turned out, even though it was kind of weird. Yeah, so this has been an episode of The Friday Show, guys. If you liked it, please share, tell your friends about it. I promise next week is going to be interesting. If everything works, we should have a pretty good interview for you guys. But yes, yeah, so if you like us, tell your friends about us. If you want to talk to us, have a conversation with us, you can find us on 3_gorillas on Twitter. Spell out the word 3. 3 Gorillas Entertainment in Facebook and YouTube, and also our Gmail account, 3gorillas_entertainment@gmail.com. And yeah,
and
so
guys, you know this already. If you need stamps, what's the place you go to? Stamps.com. Our man Stamp Jesus is there waiting for you to lick of his flesh.
Okay.
Take some stamps.
All right, bye. Bye. We love you. Cue the music, guys. We love you. Bye. Bye, Stamps. Bye.